remember once reading an anecdote from Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto about the early stages of developing Super Mario 64. He said his team spent the first few months with just Mario chasing a bunny around a bland environment. The idea was that Miyamoto wanted his team to really nail the movement of Mario, to make the act of simply running and jumping in a 3D space to be a fun experience for the player. Mario 64 did nail movement, and Super Mario Odyssey's moveset is even more expressive and expansive. Thankfully though, 3D Mario games aren't just about moving through a blank environment, it's all about the spaces that you move through too. Mario 64 had 15 fantastic worlds, and once again Odyssey doubles down on that, making the game's kingdoms even more expressive and expansive than anything in 64. So why not rank these kingdoms? Give ourselves a platform to gush over these beautiful biomes. Join me as I rank all of Super Mario Odyssey's 17 kingdoms. Number 17 and number 16 I've paired together, being Cloud and Ruined Kingdom. These are both primarily big boss arenas to signal the end of the first and second act of the game. There are some moons to collect here and there, but they're definitely not fully fledged kingdoms. Ruined Kingdom gets the edge here for the shock value of the setting and the fact that Mario fights a frickin' dragon. Similarly, I'm going to be grouping up numbers 15, 14 and 13, which go to the Moon Trilogy. The Dark Side is unlocked after collecting 250 moons, and it's basically a boss gauntlet with some of Mario's most forgettable villains, the Broodals. The Moon Kingdom, however, is the main stage for the finale of the game. I love the low gravity and the big chapel, but honestly, we spend most of our time in this volcano area, though I do love the strategy needed to get these purple coins by riding this Banzai Bill. Finally, we have the post-game epic challenge of the darker side of the moon. This level is pretty long and challenging and devoid of checkpoints. There is a cheap way you can use a Glydon to fly over a huge chunk of the stage, but even then, this is a fun but incredibly demanding final challenge. But in my eyes, it's still not really a kingdom. So, onto the first bona fide kingdom, and it is at number 12, the Ice Kingdom. This kingdom has its moments, the blizzard when you arrive. I have a real love-hate relationship with these denizens and with this race minigame, especially on the harder variant, though I find the sadistic way Mario possesses someone against their will to win a race to be an incredibly weird and unintentionally funny premise. The rest of the kingdom is spent in these passable challenge rooms. Some of the mechanics are fun, but the visual design is just dull. Next we have the game's first kingdom. At number 11 it is the Cat Kingdom. I like this as a very unconventional start to your journey. It really does feel a million miles away from the Mushroom Kingdom. However, the hat based setting isn't too inspiring, though I'd say the best part of this level is exploring the mists as a flying Goomba. A good start to the game, but Mario goes on to much bigger and better places in this adventure. Number 10 we have the Lake Kingdom. So the Cheep Cheep is one of my favourite things to possess in this game. It finally makes moving through water something to enjoy, and exploring the coves and shooting up to the surface is lots of fun. I also like the tranquility of this area, the colour scheme too, but ultimately the biggest drawback of this kingdom is that later in the game Mario visits the Seaside Kingdom, being another water based area, and pun intended, it blows Lake Kingdom out of the water. Number 9 is another early one, being Cascade Kingdom. This one introduces 8-bit 2D segments, possessing dinosaurs and chain chomps, and this level also hides lots of little secrets and is just a joy to look at and explore. This is the first kingdom on the list I really enjoy, and from here on out, this list is wall-to-wall gold. Unfortunately, Cascade Kingdom's theme and ambition isn't strong enough to see it rise even higher on the list. Number 9 is a beloved one, and I am sure I'm going to get some flack for putting it in the middle of the list, but here it goes. Number 8 is the Mushroom Kingdom. Okay, so the reveal of this as a post-game kingdom is really exceptional. Finding the Yoshi atop Peach's castle is a great homage to Mario 64, and the fact that you can possess him rather than simply ride him is a genius move. The graphics are great, and honestly I can't say enough about these adorable toads hanging out together in their souvenir hats. Look at these little dudes! I really do like this kingdom, but the inclusion of harder boss battles to pad out the star count really is not as good as simply giving the player even more Mushroom Kingdom to explore. I guess that's my only problem with this one. I love what we get so much that I simply want more. Okay, so this is an exciting one. Number 7 is Luncheon Kingdom. The colour palette is striking, as are these crystallised fruits. Possessing a chunk of meat to lure the boss is one of the silliest moments in the game. The lava bubble is another standout capture ability, and I love that you can use the residue of these lava tomatoes as a new surface to swim in. The inclusion of the Fire Bros and Hammer Bros is a great addition, even if they are underutilised. And the developer gets a lot of mileage out of using these forks in the walls as aimable springs. This one has some of the most fiendishly hidden purple coins, and the layout changes up several times throughout your run through. All in all, Luncheon Kingdom is just mwah, chef's kiss. Bowser stages in Mario games are a little played out. Mario Kart has a glut of them, especially in the early games. They can be hard to tell apart in Super Mario World, and just visually the whole lava lake and medieval castle thing, it's just kind of uninspiring at this point. For that reason, I wasn't looking forward to Bowser's Kingdom. However, it being placed at number 6 should tell you that this one won me over. I really love that they're reimagining what a Bowser level can be. The colours, the textures, the whole feudal Japan theming is exceptional. I love this gold Bowser statue running on these roofs, and the level even has a koi pond. I just wish we had some cherry blossoms too. I really like these stone boulder enemies. This little bird is a highlight of the captures in the game, and whilst you could argue this kingdom is a little too linear, I love that feeling of this one direct route of storming the castle, and the fact that such a linear route does hide so many secrets too helps it feel fresh on repeat visits. Number 5, Wooded Kingdom, is in many regards objectively the best kingdom. What I mean is that it is a very well balanced kingdom, an exceptionally designed one too. There's the opening area where you can goof off, the central climb that includes this typical Mario 64 style gauntlet of platforming and combat challenges, and there's also this super secret dark below the trees area, complete with big scary patrolling dinosaurs. New captures include the tank and the long-legged uproots, both that are very well utilised in this kingdom. The citizens have some fun dialogue but are generally not that memorable, but that is made up by this subtle Sky Dome premise and one of the best boss battles in the entire game. And this music is fantastic too. At number 4 we have the Sand Kingdom. This kingdom is absolutely huge, and I have to admit I am a little disappointed that such an expansive area is presented to us early in the game, and then nothing later in the game really comes close to this scope and the landmass of this kingdom. Riding the Jack Seas is wild and fun. The introduction of the Bullet Bill is used really well. The main boss is a real standout. These little Day of the Dead denizens are just adorable. The colours, the architecture, the sparkling sand, the nighttime glow. These top 4 kingdoms remind me of the best parts of Mario Sunshine, where it's simply so much fun to just relax and goof off in beautiful and playful environments. Speaking of giant playgrounds, at number 3 we have Metro Kingdom. This is the star of the show, many people's favourites, and rightly so. This was the big promotional angle when Mario Odyssey was first revealed. The idea of Mario running through a real metropolis with real people is just too ridiculous and silly to ignore. The end result really doesn't disappoint. Climbing and jumping between buildings is great, jumping off the highest point is always a blast. The rainy opening and the tricky boss battles really stick in the memory, and the whole thing is topped off with this amazing festival inspired by the original Donkey Kong arcade game. And the game's theme tune is being performed by Pauline too! This is the most joyous, celebratory experience in any Mario game, even if these humans are indescribably creepy. A few months ago I did a video ranking all of the classic Mega Drive Sonic zones. In this video I got a lot of comments about how controversial my top 2 were, and I get a feeling that it might go the same way here. First up, number 2 is Lost Kingdom. I've been struggling to sum up why I love this one so much, but I guess the best thing I can say is, when recording footage for this video, this was the only kingdom I stuck around with long enough to just get every single coin and every single moon. I just loved being in this world. There's just something about the vibe, the Yoshi's Island style otherworldliness, the colour palette, the fact that this is one of the smallest but also one of the most jam-packed kingdoms in the game. I just love this place. This colourful accordion caterpillars might be my favourite capture in the whole game. And this kingdom is also the homeland of this Glydon too. There's just lots to love here. Okay, so the prestigious honour of number 1 goes to Seaside Kingdom. This is the closest we will ever get to Mario Sunshine 2. The main objective of popping 4 separate corks to anger the boss in the centre is just really fun, and the aesthetic of the boss gives me Mario Galaxy vibes. The Cheep Cheeps return in a beautiful carbonated reef setting. The big new capture are these flood-like inspired gushions, whose overpowered traversal options give the developers opportunity for some of the most inventive hidden moons, and the travelling shop are a callback to Mario 3D World. Though, just like Lost Kingdom in the previous entry, what I really love about Seaside Kingdom is just goofing off. Seamlessly going from exploring the sands to the surface of the water to the underwater reef just feels effortless and addictive. This is also helped by the fact that this is possibly the most pretty kingdom in the game. And that's my list. It's been lots of fun looking back at this modern classic, and I hope that you all really enjoyed the ride too. Now it's time that Nintendo finally announced Super Mario Odyssey 2. Come on guys!